Hi everybody, welcome in to Watch Me Wednesday, episode number 77. Today is my Wednesday before I head off to Spring Quilt Market. And this year it is for Spring Market. Oops, sorry, I got a itchy there. Hi Pam, how are you? This year's Spring Market is in Kansas City. Hey Laura, how are you? So next week, that is where I will be. So this week, I am pushing myself to get ready for it amongst doing projects that I still need to get done, which is kind of crazy. So my head is running at 60 miles an hour and it feels like everything else is in slow pace. Have you ever felt that way? That's how I feel right now. So, oh, thanks, Laura. So I feel like I'm kind of running like a turtle at the moment, but I have so much to do. So I want to show you, I'm going to give you a few sneak peeks of some things that I'm going to be showing at Quilt Market next week. And next Wednesday, I'll be flying there. So I won't be doing a Watch Me Wednesday next week, but I'll probably do a live broadcast from the market floor when market opens, which I believe is going to be Friday, the market floor opens. So I'll probably do a broadcast from there then. You get to see my booth and you get to see all my other fellow designers that will be around me in the Island Batik booth. So it'll be kind of fun. So make sure you join me in. Hey Marlene, hi Linda. So go ahead and hit that share button. I'm going to show you some things that are new that I'm going to sneak peek to you. And also some things that I have in the shop. Thanks for the love, ladies. So first I want to show you, I've got a couple new Judy Niemeyer patterns that just came in for those of you who are Judy Niemeyer lovers. I got this ribbons and bows pattern. It's a wedding ring pattern, but it's simplified so that you don't have, like in her Bali wedding star, you don't have that star in there, so you're doing blocks. It's kind of cool. So I have this in stock, just put them on the website. And then I also have her, this is one of my favorite patterns, and I actually haven't done it yet. I really need to get on the stick and do it. But that means that I have to stop doing all my other stuff. So I can't stop doing that. Anyway, this is her newly released Cactus Rose pattern. They redid the pattern a couple times and redid the instructions, but I love this pattern because it's just really, really pretty. And I do love the applique on it. A lot of you who know me know I'm not a big applique fan, but I do applique on occasion. So this is on my to-do list, but I have that in stock. So if you guys are interested in that they're in stock. So Quilt Market. So I want to show you a few things. Hey Nedra, how are you? Nedra here has helped me out a tremendous amount with all my stuff for Quilt Market coming up. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of just a couple of the fabrics that I'm going to be debuting. My collection is called Electric Desert, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. When I created this collection, we start working on our collections about 2 years in advance, so it's finally coming out. I started working on this about 2 years ago. Hey Kathy, how are you? So this collection was in the works 2 years ago. I did my drawings so that they could be sent to Bali to get the chops done. And I wanted it to be all about texture, because when you think of the desert, it's very specific, right? But anybody who doesn't live in the desert can also use these because it's just full of texture. It doesn't scream cactus. And when I did my colorations for the line of fabric, I actually had taken, if you follow me, I take a lot of sunset pictures, so I pulled colors from the sunset pictures and used those as my guideline and my color palette to create this collection. So I'm going to show you a few here right now. So this one, this is a chop that I did, and they are saguaro cactus. It's really, and see what I mean by the texture? Yeah, let me turn it this way because it's sort of directional, but it doesn't matter because when you cut it up, it's going to show texture. So the color palette is purples and pinks for this one, but I did this particular design, the saguaros, in other colors within the collection. So it's not just this particular colorway. This one I did do, you know, the mixed colors. I love, love, love it. Any of you who are purple and pink fans out there will love it. So when you cut this up, you're going to see a lot of texture, not necessarily cactus. So keep that in mind when you're looking for, you're looking at this fabric. Even though it's called Electric Desert, doesn't necessarily look like it has to be the desert. So that's one of my designs in the collection. Another one is this one. This is actually interesting. So this is beautiful turquoise and teal. So how I designed this particular design, believe it or not, it is actually a photograph that I took when I was on a hike in the desert, probably a couple days after it had rained. And when in here in the desert, when it rains, the ground is very hard and it doesn't the rain doesn't have much place to go. But when the ground dries, it cracks just like this. So this is actually a photograph that I used to get all this texture. And this I did in several different colorways. And I'm going to show you another one of them because it's probably one of my favorite colorways. But I did it in the turquoise and I love it. So that's one of the other chops that I did. Another one here is, this is an agave plant. So for those of you who are familiar with agave, or for those of you who like tequila, they make tequila from agave. But it looks like a flower. It doesn't necessarily scream cacti, right? So here it is in a purple and a turquoise palette, which goes nicely with the other ones in the collection. But again, it's a lot of texture, and that's what I wanted to create with this specific collection, was texture. So that's really cool. That's an agave. And then I have, this is another agave, but this is more of a tone on tone. So I did the wine color with a little bit of pink. And it just comes out beautiful, and it goes together really, really nicely with some of the other fabrics. Then there's a lot in this collection, so I'm only showing you a few. I think I have about 30 designs in this collection, so I'm only showing you a few in the colorways, and they all work together really well. So here's another one of the desert ground that was cracked. So you can see I pulled in those copper tones with the wine color, and just the texture is just gorgeous, and I love, love, love to do that as far as using the textures to really work within a quilt pattern that you might be using. So think about that when you're purchasing fabrics. Let me just pull, I'm going to go out of the shot here for a second, so let me just pull a couple more. So I wanted to show you the difference here. So here's the saguaro again, but just in those copper colors that you get in a sunset. So pretty, and just works well with a lot of the other fabrics in the collection. So, and then one other I want to show you, and let me pull it out here. Where is it? So here, I also did, this is the only one that looks a little more like a cactus. This is a prickly pear, but again, when you cut it up and you use it in your quilt pattern, you're going to get mostly texture, but it's that turquoise, that teal with that purple, just beautiful, beautiful colors. So I will be launching these fabrics this week, or well, next week, to the quilt shops. And actually the quilt shops can now purchase them in at the current moment. So if you love these fabrics as much as I do, let your local quilt shop know that the fabrics are now available for purchase from Island Batik, and if they're on the first, if they're one of the first to order them, they will be shipped to them in September. And I do have pre-cuts for this. I'm doing a couple of my patterns are pre-cut friendly, so it's really, really cool. One of my patterns, well, not my pattern, I did a Judy Niemeyer pattern because I'm one of her certified instructors. I did two. And one of them is on the front cover of the Island Batik catalog. And it was also in American Quilt Retailer, which is a magazine that the quilt industry gets. So it was in there as well. But I do have pre-cuts coming to me. I will have them, I'm hoping within the next week or so. They're being shipped from the warehouse. So those will be available ahead of time because they're available now. So some shops actually might have them. But the fabric is not available until September. So you might have to wait a little bit on that. But with that said, I want to show you 3 new patterns that I'm launching with my collection that I designed specifically around the collection. So a lot of you know how I'm an avid hiker, and I love, love, love being out here in Arizona because I can hike all the time. So we live near the mountains, and one of the mountain ranges that we live near are the superstitions, which I always call them in my Facebook posts. I call them my superstitions because they are just beautiful. So anyway, I had to name this pattern that I designed for around this collection, Superstition, because if you look closely, it's got these little peaks and valleys that you make with a triangle ruler, a 60-degree triangle ruler. But to me, the colors and the little peaks and valleys reminded me of the Superstition Mountains. So that is what this pattern is. And again, for those of you not familiar with my patterns, I always provide swatches on the back and how much yardage, and they're all in booklet format. So they're all, you get color graphics inside. Everything is beautifully done so that you can go ahead and make that pattern. And all these patterns that I'm going to show you are available right now on my website. So you can get them as a printed pattern, or you can get them as a PDF download, which is really cool. My next pattern I'm super duper proud of because it's a queen size. So you can go ahead and make this for your queen size bed. And you have 2 border options, which I think is super cool. And I also think, by the way, my patterns I think would look good in any fabrics, but I am partial to my fabric line. But so if you see the pattern, you're like, I really like that, you can definitely make them in any fabric you like. So this one is called Dream Weaver. It has a southwestern flair to it, as you can see, but I also did 2 border options. So if you can see, I've got this little, it's a pieced border around this one, and then this one has, down here, it's hard for me to do this backwards. It has a different border, so you're not piecing it, but it's really cool. I'm really, really proud of this particular pattern. I just love it. It reminds me of the Southwest, actually. Nedra Sorensen actually made both of the tops for me. I quilted them, so Nedra, thank you. And it is a fantastic quilt to throw on your bed. It's 96 by 96. And again, you've got your swatches here with your yardages. So if you were going to use your own fabric, what I would do is I would look at the swatch color and try and be as close to the colors as you can if you like this colorway. If not, go with your darks and your mediums and just substitute them in there. And again, you've got the full color pattern with graphics, etc., to show you how to put it together. Thanks, Nedra. I'm glad you enjoyed putting it together. It's a really, really cool quilt. Oh, and in Superstition, I should say, my friend Sally Murray put that top together. So the next one I want to show you is, so I have 3 patterns to show you that are new designs specific to the collection. So this one's a quick one to work up. It's a table runner. It's called Saguaro Table Runner. And it's really super cute. Now, yes, this one does scream desert because there's a saguaro cactus, but it's a lot of fun. It's got a super fun sashing in there. And what the cool thing is, you can put this, I gave you 2 methods to do the applique on this. I have laser cuts that you can go ahead and do the applique, or you can do a strip piecing method as well. And I provide a template in here. to show you how to do that. So all my patterns come complete for you to do either way, which is really, really cool. So the laser cuts, come complete. Let me take one of these out. It comes complete with you for you to make 5 cacti, and there's the back. But you get in here, let me see if I can pull one out without pulling it apart. So this, they are pre-fused. So this is, you're gonna see, there are 5 pieces in here that make the body, the long body of the saguaro. They're pre-fused and backed, so they're already cut to the size you need them. And you're just gonna use an applique pressing sheet to put your cacti together, and they go together really super quick. Which is nice, and they are in the electric desert fabric, which is really cool too. So they're available also on my website for purchase. So those are the 3 patterns that I've designed around the collection, but I redid 2 of my patterns in my electric desert collection, and they look phenomenal. I can't wait to show you guys next week. So I redid Rainbow's End, which is a pre-cut 2.5-inch strip pattern, which is available on my website. You can get that. And I also redid Fractal, which is a triangle quilt, and I just love how it turned out. So that one turned out absolutely stunning as well. They're both available and have been available for a while on my website. Then what else I'm going to be previewing at Quilt Market to the shops are I had some other designer friends use my fabric for some of their designs, which is super cool. So I had Linda Sullivan use my fabrics to create one of her designs. I used Vanessa from Fabric Confetti. She did some beautiful embroidery designs with my fabric. And then Debbie Brown of Debbie Brown Quilts, she also did a quilt from one of their patterns, the Cutie designs. So they are all going to be displayed in my booth at Quilt Market. So if you like what I showed you, the patterns are available now. The fabric, again, won't be available until September in the shops, but definitely let your shops know. Share this video and let them know that even if they're not at market, because not all the shops go to Spring Market, if they're not at market, they can certainly contact Island Batik or their Island Batik Rep, and they can get the patterns and the fabric in. But I'm so excited to share this next week with everyone. I can't wait because I've had the fabric for a while, and like I said, I've been working on this for 2 years now, which is really kind of cool to see it now come to fruition. It's always a thrill for me, and a thrill for me to show you. So I appreciate you guys indulging me when I do this. I really, really enjoy what I do. So it's fun to see how you guys like what I've been doing, if you like it, because I like the feedback too. So anyway, so remember next week on Wednesday, I won't be here on Watch Me Wednesday because I'll be flying to Kansas City, but I want you to make sure that, and I will probably put like a teaser post up that I'm going to be doing a live broadcast from Quilt Market, and I will take you around the Island Batik booth and all my friends' booths too, so you can see what's going on. And I'm probably guessing it'll be Friday that I will do that. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, definitely share this video. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for indulging me. And oh, I got to show you one other thing. So thank you for indulging me. But after I broadcast, the next thing I'm going to do is get back to work on something that I really can't show you yet, but I can show you. These are the colors. This is a scrap pile. So stay tuned, because somewhere in the near future, probably within the next 4 months or so, you're going to get to see more of what I'm working on here, which is super cool. How many of you love these colors? I do, and I can't wait to show you that. So yeah, I'm kind of being a tease. Sorry about that. But anyway, So listen, I will see you guys next week, probably on Friday. Thank you for all the love. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping in. You have a great week. Happy quilting. Bye-bye.